Alrighty. Got my mountain man shit on. Rugged face. But I won't be showing my face on the camera like that right now, so it don't matter. Back at you niggas again. And here to report an interesting series of events. Now, pulling off of the Halloween thing, bringing it back to the whole formation of the earth, birth of the sun thing. Now, in this segment, and maybe the next one or two, or three, however long I feel like I want to go in this direction, we're going to deal with the divine feminine, or feminine energy, or whatever, the great mother. Because I got an answer to a question that I had asked myself not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago, or whatever. And it was one of those questions where I had the answer already, but I wanted I guess you could say I wanted a deeper understanding. So, and that question was, well, it was about the aspect of the divine feminine, which we refer to as yin and yang, or which is mommy waters, Madre Diagua, Madre being mother, Diagua meaning of the water. And the question was, now first and foremost, when you're dealing with the mommy water things, it's the realm of water, things of the sea or whatnot. Yin and yang, that's one, mermaids, fishes, and things of that nature. When you read The Serious Mystery, which is a book that's highly recommended, excellent work, especially on the topic which I'm speaking on now. Pull something out of here in a little bit. I think when after I finish this little series of videos, I think I'm gonna get into this book and drop some more science about this, because I did on my other page, Hidden Treasures of Melanin, well, Starface Spaceship. I got a series of videos called The Hidden Treasures of Melanin, and I dropped a little game on y'all out of that a couple years ago, about 2 years ago. But when you read that book, they'll give you it basically gives you a breakdown of the fish deities of Sirius or whatever, and the water world or whatnot. But one of the figures that's, when you, like I said, with Yin and Yang is basically like a mermaid goddess. And although it's not necessarily exclusive or particular to big women, because you can represent the yin and yang energy with just a regular mermaid, you know what I'm saying, or just fishes or whatever. But ultimately, when you start doing your research on yin and yang, you're gonna see a lot of the depictions of her as a big woman, and so, which leads to the question I was breaking down. I asked myself, I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, what's the significance of why is the big woman so associated with the whole yin yang thing, or something. Not even that. What's the significance of the big woman? Because even when you look at a lot of those old African carvings, you'll see a lot of those are you'll see a lot of big women and big men too carvings. Those African carvings where they have a big woman with the big face and all that, and it's not just and ultimately I'm dealing with the feminine aspect of it, but ultimately it's not just the woman. You have your Buddha. You see a lot of the Buddha symbolism where it's the man with the big belly or whatever. And according to like Bobby Hemming, he was saying one of the significance of the big belly or the heavy setness represents the jolliness. That's why they say, that's why Santa Claus is represented as a heavy set fella, full of jolliness and joy. But to take it back to the feminine aspect, I was asking myself, what's the significance of the archetype of the big woman? Because the reason why you see those carvings of the big woman, and they use a big woman as the symbol as the symbolic representation of women or whatnot. Is because that's an actual archetype. So I was like, well, I wonder what's the significance of that, and it finally came to me. Now, for on one hand, like I said, I already knew. I think it was a part of me that was like, you got it, but it's still another piece to the puzzle. Because for one, the bigness represents the greatness or the great mother. What's the great mother? Well, when you're dealing with the feminine energy, you're dealing with dark matter, you're dealing with the darkness of space, you're dealing with darkness. Masculinity falls under, light falls under the category of masculinity. Darkness falls under the category of feminine, or the feminine aspect, or whatever. The yang or the yin energy. Yang is the masculine energy, which light falls under. Yin is the feminine energy, which the darkness falls under, or whatever. So when you look at, we'll just say the dark, because you can look at it from both ways, daytime and nighttime, because when you look at this clear blue skies on a sunny day, you have the sun, which is small in relation to its backdrop, which is the blue sky, the mommy waters, that's the light. That would be considered the light waters or whatever, or the lighter waters. While when you look in the sky, and the color of yin and yang is turquoise, or that light bluish color that you see in the clear blue skies. So the clear blue skies that serves as the backdrop of the sun, if you look in proportional relation to the sun, it's bigger. So when you look in the sky, you see that dot, which is the sun itself, and then you see that vast blueness behind it, that large or great blueness behind it. And then when you switch it to the nighttime, you have the dark waters, and you have the moon, which is which reflects the light of the sun. The light that you see coming from the moon is actually the light being reflected from the sun. The light is hitting the light from the sun, while it's beneath or under the horizon of the earth, it's shining on the moon, and the moon is reflecting the light back down to earth. So, and just like I was breaking down with the sun in the back in the turquoise black backdrop of the sky, At nighttime, you have, like I say, the light, the white moon, the light of the moon. Then you have the light of the stars, those little bitty dots. But then you have the vastness of space or the blackness behind that. So compared to the side of the stars, the darkness is black or greater than those little stars. Now, are we saying that since light, when you're dealing with light, are we saying that because we have this tendency to think that bigger is better, or something is smaller, the smaller something is, the less valuable that it is. And that's not necessarily the case at all times. You know what I'm saying? It's when we're dealing with this, we're not even dealing with a comparison of what's better or whatnot. But not saying it's a, you know, everything has, in so many words, everything has its significance. I'm gonna read this real quick so you can see what I mean. Now this is talking about, and if you're familiar with the videos, the previous videos I've done, this will ring a bell in your head. But let me kick this out of serious mystery. It says, but to return to Anu, Osiris is sometimes known as On. In a hymn to Osiris, he is called the God, On of a million of years. That's what I was telling y'all about Aaliyah, 1 in a million. Your love is 1 in a million. It goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, Aaliyah is she's a dark goddess. And what I mean by that is not dark in the sense of a bad energy or a bad person, something like that. She's really that's the irony of her whole existence, because when you look at her style of dress, she has like a tomboyish style, which is masculine energy. But then, as far as her mentality, and the way that she carried herself in a mysterious manner. You ask anybody that that really know her or have an understanding of her personality, they'll tell you she's a real mysterious type of person, you know. And really, you can just get that off of her vibe. To the point to where, if you don't ever sit down and watch one of her interviews, it's like you'll be surprised when you see one of her interviews. When you just listen to her songs and look at the videos or whatever. As far as me, you know, she comes off a little bit. She comes off as she may be more reclusive than she really is. And then when you go listen to her interviews, you know what I'm saying, she's well, in my opinion, she's more talkative than I would imagine, but she still has that mysterious part of her. And that's why you see, like I say, a lot of pictures, you know, she have her hair covering up one of her eyes or whatever, you know, or she used to always have the dark shades on. So you know, she has a real her energy is, she has a real she resonates a lot of powerful black dark energy. And even if I'm not mistaken, even the record label she was signed to was called Black Ground Entertainment. The background or the black background of the sky or whatever. So, you know, we down here, when we doing these things that we do, especially when you're dealing with music, because that's part of the liberal arts. And the liberal arts, and entertainment, you know, even though we look at these things like, oh, it's just entertainment, the things that we do within the realm of entertainment, a lot of times we're channeling spiritual energy, whether we know it or not. So a lot. That's why I can look at people, singers and dancers and rappers and all that, and I can see them channeling spiritual things through whatever they're doing, even though they may not know. You know, they may be doing some things and that would put one under the impression that they're conscious or whatever, but then the whole while they may be Christian or whatever, but the whole while not knowing that they're really doing things that pertain to our ancient information or whatever. But let me get back to this. Man, I don't want to get. I want to eventually one day do a video on it, Leo. So I don't want to give y'all too much right here, but I'll hit you with that right there. So Aunt and Aunties, great one, Haruka Hootie. Thou stridest over heaven with long strides. Therefore, this designation as Aunt is specifically connected. Is specifically connected with heaven, and the long strides mean heavenly motion. And considering On and Anu, we must look again at Anubis. But as we do so, we shall take a glance at the Sanskrit, which this Sanskrit is Indian text. Not Native American Indian, but Indian, Kushite and all that. Recall that Anubis and Plutarch's account seem to refer specifically to the orbit of Sirius B. In Sanskrit, the word Anda means ellipse, and the word Anu means minute, atomic, the subtle one, an atom of matter. An animan means minuteness, atomic nature, the smallest particle, the superhuman power of becoming as small as an atom. So the reason that I brought that up or said that is to shine light on the fact that in all actuality, while we think everything that's is bigger is better, in all actuality, your soul is a subatomic particle. That's so many words. And in all actuality, the reason why minuteness or smallness was venerated is because it represented the invisible. The smaller something is, the harder it is to see. So when you're dealing with the unseen of the world is the most powerful aspect of the people, or is where the substance lies. Everything that we see in the physical world is the physical world is the world of effects. The invisible world is the world of the invisible world is the realm of cause. So everything that we see in the physical world is caused by the invisible world. And the invisible world is synonymous with smallness, because the smaller something is, the harder it is to see. But it's like I was saying a few minutes ago, we don't want to, because because the smallness pertains to the light, and the darkness pertains to, or the greatness would pertain to the black, the darkness. So we don't want to get too caught up in trying to say one is better than the other, but in defense of the smallness or the minute, I had to read that part. Or we can take it as far as to say, since everybody likes to be so goddamn battle with the sexiest around this, or battle with the sexiest around this motherfucker. And act like the man just ain't shit. Y'all be trying to count the man out. Well, I say that in defense of the masculine energy. You know, the masculine energy is activity itself. So you can't count the masculine energy out, because the masculine energy is action itself. So anything that is done, you can't do it without masculine energy, because you can't. Doing it is masculine energy. The actual act of getting shit done or doing shit or motion itself is masculine energy. So, you know, I'm saying that because there's a lot of people out there that try to say that the feminine is greater than the masculine or better than the masculine, when really when they speaking about the feminine being greater than the masculine, is more so of a literal size thing. It's actually when you look and you see it when you look in the sky, you see more darkness than you see light. But the light is a manifestation of the power that is generated within the darkness. So it all go hand in hand. Everything balances and evens out. So, you know, that's why I don't get too caught up. You know, it's pros and cons to the masculine, it's pros and cons to the feminine. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't get too caught up in trying to, you know, because I know niggas who think that the man or the masculine aspect is great, is better than the goddamn woman. And we all know that that's just woven into American culture due to the European man. He has a you know, the European race has a the man within the European race has a, for lack of a better way of putting it, some type of innate adversity towards his woman, or women, or the feminine aspect, period. That's where the whole feminist movement shit came from, because, you know, all these things that you see with this Me Too movement and women need women rights and all that shit, that don't have really nothing to do with black men. That has something to do with all those years of white men oppressing their own goddamn women. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But anyway, back to the great mother thing. So I understood that. I said, okay, I know that. But I said I was like, I'm trying to figure out what's the significance of the imagery of the big woman. Now, it really dawned on me like last week, I think. Well, actually, really about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I was thinking more so of it, because when I was breaking down, when I was catching on to the whole, when I was telling you about the King Kong meditating with the legs folded down here and the arms sitting on the knees or whatever. Another image I seen was sumo wrestlers. These would be the, you know, when the sumo wrestler, if you look at this, you can see where the sumo wrestlers get their stance from. This would be the arms, and then this would be the legs. But, you know, when they get ready to wrestle each other, they put one leg down. You ever watch a sumo wrestling match, and look at how when they getting ready to tee off or whatever, how they position themselves. They put one leg down, put the other leg down in a squatting position, and they got their hands on their thighs or some shit. And then a couple weeks later, which was last week, is when it really dawned on me about the great mother thing. I say, that's it. I think that's where the imagery, or that's the reason why the most used image, or the image of woman that's most synonymous with Yemiya or the great mother or whatever is the big woman, is because this. Okay. So even though what I was just telling you about the sumo wrestling, all that shit rings true, when you look at the great mother, first of all, I'm gonna go back to my let me say that too. I should have said it in the beginning, but I want to dedicate this lecture or this little thing right here, for one, to my moms who passed in 2020. Yolanda Pearson, aka Yolanda King, which is my old man's name. She got named aka Yolanda Hill, which was the last name she had in her last marriage before she passed or whatever. And my aunt, who this is who really what I'm channeling this shit from is her, my Aunt Denise. Now, my Aunt Denise is a key figure or major factor. She passed before I got out of jail. Now, she's a key figure. That's why when I was telling y'all about the Harvey thing, that was pretty much her. She's a key figure. Cause for one, now she's a key figure when it comes to the yin and yang energy, because she is yin and yang in so many words. I'm not saying she's like the only one, but she's a key factor in that that realm, because for one, she was a big woman. You know, she's a big woman, and her nickname was Yaya. Now, you know, growing up, you know, I didn't know nothing about yin and yang and all that, and I'm not sure how she got that nickname. My family is not necessarily conscious like that. Well, but I ain't gonna lie, I talked to I have an auntie that's we've had some interesting conversations about spirituality, and I'll tell that story later. I'll tell that one later, because that was very interesting. But for the most part, my family is, you know, Christian or whatever. My grandma, she you know, church goer or whatever. So for the most part, my family is you know, they're Christian or whatever. But that's the thing about it. So with my auntie, you know, when I finally started getting into this information, and I found about the yin and yang, and I found out, you know, I seen the imagery of the big woman, I was like, well, damn, my auntie was, my Aunt Yaya was big like that, and her name is Yaya, yin and yang, Yaya. So, yeah. So, even with this, me doing this today, because I really was gonna wait till tomorrow to start back up, because I wanted to start back up and start getting into the feminine energy. And Friday is the day dedicated to the woman. That's the day. Friday is dedicated to Venus. So I was like, well, I'd start Friday, and which would be, you know, fitting, because, you know, it's the day of the woman. Well, it's a day dedicated to woman. But last night I woke up in the middle of the night and it was raining cats and goddamn dogs. I said, oh yeah, that's Auntie. She telling me, go on, crank it up today. And then today was a gateway day, or 11/11 or whatever. So I said, yeah, at the best I better start today. And you know, I go through a little process, which even that's kind of spiritual, because I have to go to Starbucks just to transfer my videos from my camera to my phone. And Starbucks, what's the mascot of Starbucks? A mermaid. So, you know, it's all, but so I might get this one up tonight and be able to post it on my YouTube if I feel like going up there. I gotta walk and shit. So I might be able to make it up there, get up, but none, at least it'll be up for sure tomorrow. But yeah, so I said, yeah, let me go ahead and get into it. Yeah, so like I said, it finally dawned on me, but I was seeing it, but the way I saw it was because as we know, well, let's get into it real quick. Let's get into it. Okay, fuck it. Take this one down real quick. I'm gonna do a little quick recap of how all this shit came about. And I'll take you there. Hold on, let me put this shit on the low. That's what I was trying to tell y'all about the Harvey thing. Because it was, that week leading up into Harvey, the thing was, people were trying to figure out, well, is it really gonna happen, or is it really gonna rain? And I was kind of like, man, I was hoping. I kind of had a feeling it was. I felt I could feel my aunt's energy, but then a part of me, I was kind of fucked up at the time, so it was like, damn. I'm like, man, I hope I don't get fucked up by this shit. But I kind of knew I wouldn't though. But it was just. I don't want to say I was saying I was hoping I wasn't gonna get fucked up. It was just like, because I was staying with my goddamn, I was house hopping at the goddamn time. I was like, man, I hope I don't fuck around and end up with nowhere to go in the middle of a goddamn flood storm. That'd be really fucked up. But like I said, when I seen that green orb fly through the sky that couple days before the shit popped off, I said, yeah, that's the sign. I don't know what that was. It was just like a green, like a shooting star, but it was green. Which green is the color of Osiris. And that's what I was telling y'all about one of the last videos, and I was telling y'all about, well, when I was speaking about this, I was talking about Osiris or the flood or whatever. Osiris is green, one of his colors is green, which is my favorite color. Because I'm Osiris, the Osirian energy or whatever. I'm heavy Osiris energy, heavy Horus energy, heavy Isis energy, you know what I'm saying? I'm like my, but anyway, yeah, so, now we're gonna get into it. Make sure this shit is looking right. I wanna get, yeah, that's good. So, for y'all that may, for whatever reasons, watch this video first. Really, you should watch it from one on down, but you know how shit is. Some people might just hop in. So this would be a good little video, or this would be a good section for those who are just now tuning in on this video. But this right here, the masculine energy, the man, Osiris. This right here, feminine energy, the woman, Isis. Noon, the dark waters of Noon. This is the side view. This is the coin. This would be the circle. Now, really, you got the triple blackness of space. Now, what the triple blackness of space is, you have 3 levels of the darkness. This would be the most concentrated point of the melanin, or the darkness. This would be, the circumference would be the second. Now, really, all this would be the third, or the darkness, or the least concentrated. This would be where your zodiac would be at. Pay no attention to this right now, because this really was, I was really just using this, I'll just pay no attention to the light around this for right now, but just imagine all this is darkness. And then it gets more concentrated when they get up in this area. And then when it gets to this point, the little dot right there, that's the most concentrated point. Triple stage of darkness. So this right here, the dog star, which is serious, or was going to raise up to become serious, shoots up, boom, rises up, and comes up here. Then the 7 follow. That's the Ali spirits right there. The Ali spirits. And all this light that's flanking this right here comes up through it. Once this comes up, it's like the genie in the bottle shit. It opens up, boom. All this goes straight up. This is the whirlwind right here. This is shooting. This is actually the vacuum cleaner. So this represents the suction. This is the reason why this comes up and all this energy is pulled up here is because you got shoe or the whirlwind pulling all this energy up. This is the impregnation process. The same way we can look at this as solar phallic energy. The same way you come in a woman, which is another thing. Let me see if I can find that shit right now. This shit is everything is everything. We be talking when we say the word come in regards to an orgasm. I'm gonna show you where that comes from. Cause that word, that's what that word actually means. It literally means having an orgasm. Let me see. See if I can find this shit real quick. It shouldn't be hard, cause one minute. Should be somewhere right up in here. Okay, here we go. Now this is ancient Egypt light of the world. The most probable rendering depends on Sikha being a tabernacle or ark of the god, corresponding to the Egyptian Sekhet for an ark, shrine, or cabin, and Shun from Shun, and on Shun from Chun, or your Chun Li. When you get Chun Li on Street Fighter, one of her signature moves is she stands on one leg and then she does these multiple kicks with the other leg. The reason why they named her Chun Li is because that leg that she's standing on one leg. Standing on that one leg is, damn, where that shit go this fast? Okay, there you go. Her standing on that one leg, this represents the leg that she's standing on. And then she's kicking, you know, when she does her little kick. If you're not familiar, you can YouTube and all this shit now. So you don't know what the fuck Chun Li is, just go YouTube it or whatever. But that's the Chun Li. The L, the I. When you look at her, when she does that move, she stands on one leg and then she has the other leg kicking up and down, up and down, up and down like a you don't look and see shit, but you got that stuff. But you know what the fuck I'm talking about, especially if you're a Street Fighter fan, you grew up in them 90s. But anyway, back to this right here. Denoting the pillar or pedestal of the star. Come signifies to found, set up, erect, heap up, set up, erect. In order to have sex, what does the penis have to do? It has to erect. That's why I say, man, when you really get into knowledge of self and studying and reading, you start finding all types of shit. You start finding out where everything come from. No pun intended. You start figuring out where all kind of shit come from, man. That's the beauty of this shit. Like, you know, that's the beauty of this shit. But let me get back to it. I just want to share that with y'all real quick, and I'm gonna go back to that. But when I deal with the masculine energy, but all these come up, all this comes through the center, but while this goes straight up, all this energy comes up the flanks, comes out and spills out. So this right here would be this top. This is the top of the coin. So that light come through that center and spill all the way through the circumference, giving you this. Then all that light retracts to the outer surface of the circle, and then shoots back out to the darkness of space, leaving this in darkness with which would be like this again, but this time it would be it have particles of light all throughout this left behind from the light within it. And then when these finish erecting, when all 8 of these go up, hope I don't sound too redundant for anybody that's really been following this shit, but you know, it will be alright. Ain't nothing wrong. Sometimes you gotta talk in circles or keep hitting them up with the same thing over and over for a minute for them to get it anyway. So it's all gravy. Like I was saying, while all this light was coming this way in order to go up and spill over and go that way, while it was on its way towards the center, it was pushing up on these, pushing the mountains up or whatever. So once all those 7, once all these erect and come up here, with this one leading the charge or leading the way, you end up with this: the Dog Star, Anubis, Sirius, Isis, Osiris. They all have their damn court with that one. And you got the 7 elite spirits that come up here, and as each one of these went up into here, they were enveloped in shells of melanin. That's why you have the eye of the light and it's surrounded by the darkness in each one. And then cut the umbilical cord or whatever, kind of reminiscent of that. This part snips, and then all the light shoots up. So each one of these, this one shoots up, this one shoots up, this one shoots up, and all the light basically goes up and consolidates up here. And as I was saying in another video, these are the mountains that was pushed up, and as the light raised up the water, because the melanin has water in it. That's the separating of the dark waters from the light waters. The light waters, which would be regular waters, is the water that's evaporating from out of the melanin as the light rises. So as once that snips and all that light starts to go up here, well, let me take that back. When this shoots up and then these 7 go up, the form is, as they're going up, the water is rising, and the water is rising, or the water is precipitating from out of the melanin, as this ladder right here is being set up. So by the time this ladder is being set up, this right here would be a golden white mist. And then when that snips and the light starts to rise up to here, that mist is going to follow the light and go as the light goes this way, the light goes this way, you're going to have the mist going out here, mist going out here, and you'll still have a little water, because eventually once all these go up and all the water retreats to the outer circumference, this is going to, for the most part, be dry and desiccated, but it'll still have, because what's going to happen, like I said, all that's going to go up, and by the time that last bit of light goes up in the hill, once all the heat from the light retracts up in the hill, and all that water that went out here and went out here from the mist, once the light leaves the actual circle, that's gonna turn into ice. That all that water that went to the outer surface or the outer layer is gonna turn into it's gonna freeze because there's no more heat. It's, you know, the heat's gonna separate itself by going up in here. So all that water that was following it, it's not gonna be able to follow it up there. So it's gonna freeze right here and create the what was gonna become the moon. And then you'll have that. It'll still, even though when the light leaves here, it turns the surface into a desolate dry land. It'll still have like a thin sheet of ice sitting over. That goes back to what I was saying about the how that process corresponds with the mummification process. So you'll have that thick shell over the earth, or what's going to become the earth. And then you'll still have a thin shell of ice down here. And I think that's the problem with white people or the calcification process. See, when you look at white people, they're pioneered. The reason why white people are different than us, they pioneered being calcified. It has to be calcified in order to be functional. The decalcification of the pineal gland would be similar to that ice being froze over, because this would become the pineal gland right here, or this is the pineal gland. Because once all those 8 go up, when that last bit of light comes from up here, it leaves one little speck of light in this spot, and then the melanin that was, because like I said though, when the light was coming up, the melanin was coming down and spilling out to the flanks and coming down on that this stem right here, which was created by the ash. Go look at the rest of the videos, you'll get it. Then I don't want to have to keep burning time doing that, but it's gonna leave that little speck of light right up in there, which would be symbolic of Osiris or whatever. But it's froze. So what you would have here is Isis, the moon, just frozen, hat, coupe-like dome sitting on top of the dark Nephthys, the dark mother, the melanin, the underworld down here. That's where, when you look at the Masons and they got that checkerboard, black and white checkerboard flows, that's where that shit come from. This is the white, this is the dark right here. And you have all that, and then you have this star, or this star figure sitting over it. That's why when you look in the I think in the Bible it speaks about you'll hear him talking about the woman who had the moon at her feet. It says she had the moon at her feet and a starry crown. Whereas you can look at it 2 ways. The time of the month when the earth is below or under the horizon, even at night, that's when the moon would be under the foot, and then over the earth would be the zodiac, or the stars of the zodiac. So that would be the starry crown. But then you could kind of look at it like that with this too, because when all that light comes up, this is Isis, or this is the star Sirius with the moon at its feet. So I had a vision of this small star sitting up here with this spear that was created by the process of this exchange of energy, and that's when it hit me. This is the head, this is the body of the great mother, the big mama. This is the big mama. And the reason why I just broke the process down again, because the process of the light going up in the hill is representative of the impregnation. Behold, as I shape and fold your, where I say, behold, as I shape and fold your formless, that boy say, behold, as I shape and fold your formless, shape and mold your formless globe to a perfect goal, some shit like that. But so many words, it's the impregnation. So this, which was once flat, is pushed up in an ice dome or a belly, or a rotund belly. Ice belly is shaped over it, just like which was the bottom, gets rounded off with melanin. So that would be the head, just like with the sumo man, arms, legs, and you look at it, that's the big mom, the big woman. You know what I'm saying? So you might say, well, he's reaching. Well, let's go a little farther with it. Okay. Mama waters. What happens when that light shoots back down here, passes through that ice, and comes down here to resurrect Osiris? This is horrible. When all that light conglomerate or consolidates up here, the next thing that happens is it shoots that lightning bolt out. Boom. Wake up, nigga. That's the resurrection. When you look at, matter of fact, in Revelation, they talk about the star wormwood. The worm is the lightning. The little thin lightning bolt comes down, boom, and strikes that. This is the wood, the tree bark. The lightning comes down here, penetrates, opens up a pinhole right here, and the pinhole sucks the fireball from out of this star right here. So the process, when that last bit of light travels from out of here and this locks up, that's what creates the lightning bolt, or causes the lightning to strike, the lightning and thunder. And it shoots the lightning bolt out. The lightning bolt goes all the way down, creates a little pinhole, and then that pinhole sucks. The same way you get the vacuum at the top at first, it reverses, and now the vacuum is down here, but it's pulling it's pulling that light, that fireball out to come down here and resurrect everything. So it's kind of like when them people been in the hospital and they trying to keep them alive. What do they use? They use those defibrillators, I think they call defibrillators, and shock their chest. That's to wake them back up. That thunderbolt or that lightning bolt is to resurrect Osiris when they throw it down there. And then the sun comes down, and the father and the Horus unites with the father. That's why they say the father and son are one. And you know, like the sun goes down here and travels through all these dimensions or chakras, which these, well, I'll get into that later, but it comes down here, and then mind you, don't forget the earth sits at an axis. So throughout all this process, somewhere the earth is going to tilt, and that's where the letter Q comes from, because the earth tilts. So when it tilts, it ain't coming, the sun ain't coming, when it comes out, it's not coming straight down like that. It'll end up over here somewhere because it's tilted this way, and so it'll shoot out this way. As a matter of fact, even in Serious Mystery, they have some imagery in there that pertains to that right here, to right there. But I think that's what I'm gonna say, I think that is what the goddamn Q comes from, because the Mother Earth, the Earth is the queen, the Q. So So that'll be the queen giving birth to the son or whatnot. So that's where the letter Q comes from. This is where your alphabets come from. You know, you can see all of, you get to get into this shit. You start seeing why this shit. Cause like I'm saying, you got the L, the A, the U. This is the cup, the Holy Grail. Of course, the T. And when you slant it, you got the X. You know. When they say that the ancestors they developed the alphabet by tracing the stars in the sky, some shit like that. So many words. This is what they're speaking about. The alphabets are based upon the formation of the earth or the earth. Let me see if I can find this real quick. It shouldn't be hard. Yeah, man, this shit is real. I tell you, when I tell you fat meat greasy, please believe me. But say, behold, as I shape and mold your formless globe to a perfect O, and breathe the breath of life into your nose. See if I can find this real quick. Where's this shit at? And I just seen it too. It should be too goddamn hard to find. You know, I try not to. You know, when you're dealing with this shit, sometimes you might think you gotta push the envelope with the way you think. So sometimes you might think you reaching. You're like, I'm just reaching. And then you get to read, you say, oh shit, how you find some shit that'll confirm what you thought you was reaching on. You be like, damn, I thought I was. Sometimes that be the damn spirit talk to you, or one of the ancestors giving you a channel. You might be thinking, I'm just thinking some crazy shit. But then you get to read and you be like, oh shit, I was right. Let me see if I can find this shit real quick, man. I just saw it. When you're looking for shit, you can't find it. You ain't looking for it, it pop right up in your goddamn face. Okay, let me see. Alright, show you some of this area right here. Yeah, you get this book here, man, Ancient Egypt. Excuse me, I done read so much of that shit, I keep saying it. When you go get the Serious Mystery, you will see a lot of the shit that I'm talking about. In the back with the imagery, because they got a lot of pictures that the Dogons drew, which is the Dogons are pretty much the last tribe of Africans to really track the Sirius star system and give us a lot of groundbreaking information. Because you know, when the Europeans took over and shit, a lot of this information was suppressed and hid. So you had these white guys go over to Egypt and speak with the Dogons, and a lot of this where a lot of this information came from. Man, I just saw this shit, man. I'm seeing everything but the goddamn picture I'm looking for. And I just saw this motherfucker. I should have